Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone. Whoops, your boy's off his game this morning. Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, you need an orthopedist. They're just the best. Call our friends over at Brock with 10 locations. And of course, if you need a roof issue, we are happy to help you. Give us a shout at 364-1007, 364-1007. Also, Restored Motions and Pro Charge, we appreciate greatly. LSU baseball gets a win, beats Texas State 10-5 on Sunday. So the Tigers finish off the weekend sweep, beating Texas, ULL, and then Texas State 10-5. Story of this game, I thought, really was Thatcher Hurd getting the start, and Hurd looked really good, man. If you didn't watch the game and you look at the box score, 5 innings, 3 runs on 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. The 3 runs, a bit deceiving. We'll get to the rest of the day, but we'll go to the 5th. The Tigers got on the scoreboard with a Josh Pearson solo homer in the 3rd, put together a really nice rally in the 4th where they plated 3 runs. So, no, I'm sorry. Forgive me. They played 5 runs in the 4th. So LSU's up 6-0, and you're feeling like they're cruising. Well, you go to the top of the 5th, and this is where things got a little hairy. So Hurd gives up a single to Lugo on the first pitch of the inning, up the middle. He gets Powell to fly out, so there's 1 on, 1 out. Then he strikes out Collier. So 1 on, 2 out. Lugo stole second, so there's a runner at second with 2 outs. Hurd gives up a single on a 1-2 pitch to score a run, and then gives up a double on an 0-2 pitch. So you've got runners at second and third now with 2 outs and a run in. He gets the ground ball to shortstop, and Braswell throws it away, and two runs score. So Hurd should have been out of the inning, giving up just the 1 run, and 2 of the hits he gave up were on 2-strike counts where he was 1-2 and 0-2. Not just 2 strikes, but he was ahead in the count. So Hurd's got to put those hitters away. That goes without saying. But even still, Braswell's got to make the throw from short. Braswell makes the throw from short. It's a 6-1 ball game. You keep your foot on that throat instead. 6-3. Tigers would come back with a 2 spot in the 6th. Where Neal doubled, Travinsky doubled, Milam doubled. They went back-to-back-to-back doubles. So LSU was able to get a couple of those runs back. Then they'd add 2 more in the 8th. As far as the pitching after Hurd, Christian Little came in, and Little was interesting, man. He brushed back 1 hitter, threw one at his chin, and the next pitch went down at the bottom of the zone. It was like, okay, you can kind of put it where you want. Little went 1 inning, but did give up 2 hits, no runs, worked around it. Javen Coleman came in and went 2 2/3. And that's the other really interesting story, right? So Coleman had been the number 3 guy up into this part of the season, but clearly they're working jump into the rotation, and they'll keep Hurd there as well. So Cade Anderson will continue to be the midweek guy, meaning Javen Coleman will be a lefty that, you can extend out of the bullpen. So Coleman was pretty good except for the walks. He walked 4. But he didn't allow a hit. So that's the tricky part is, man, and he almost got it home. You 2 outs in the 9th, and it puts a couple of runners on. So they bring in Primo, and Primo gives up a hit. And so then they go get Gavin Guidry, and Gavin Guidry faces 1 hitter and strikes him out and ends the game. But so you wish Coleman could have put it away there in the 9th. And let me make sure. I think he got 2 quick outs in the 9th too. He walked the leadoff hitter. He went walk, strikeout, fly out. So now you got 1 on, 2 outs, and he went walk. And then, so now the bases are loaded. He went and got Primo. Primo gave up the single to allow 2 runs to score. So it's 10-5. Guidry came in and got the strikeout. That's what it was. So the walks in the 9th inning for Coleman were the problem, but He just kind of ran out of gas. All things considered, though, a really good weekend for the Tigers as they win 3 games. They do it behind really good start, if not dominant starting pitching. You got a lot of guys work out of the bullpen. I think you've started to establish some roles, right? We know who now they really trust and like at the back of the bullpen, which I think we already knew, but guys like Fidel Ulloa, obviously Gavin Guidry at the end of the game to finish it yesterday. You're learning. Justin Lohr was great out of the bullpen. Javen Coleman, a couple of lefties just mentioned, by the way. So you're figuring out roles. And the other thing, too, that really struck me, man, hat tip to Hayden Travinski. And maybe this is just a product of having been in school now for 5 years and seeing so many different collegiate pitchers. But Travinski was 2 for 5 yesterday. He did strike out twice, but I think he was 2 for 5. And on the weekend, I need to go pull up his whole stats from the weekend, but Travinski is, he's just having such good at bats, man. The thing about Travinski a year ago the way the season started, if you remember, Neal was the starter, Milazzo was kind of your defensive replacement, and Travinski was kind of the odd man out. And every now and again, you get a pinch hit at bat in a midweek game, and he'd crush a ball off a midweek pitcher because he looks like Soda Popinski. But the strikeout numbers were too high. Well, as the season went along and he started getting more opportunities after Neal got hurt, he was swinging a really hot bat. But he was fastball hunting, and the power numbers were there, but the strikeout numbers were still there as well. This year, again, and maybe it is just a product of if I go and look at Hayden Travinski's career stats, his career ABs, Travinski right now is second on the team with a 361 batting average. Milam's at 364, Travinski's at 361. And he's got 7 strikeouts and 36 at-bats. That's 1 out of every 5, so it's 20%. I mean, would I like that number to be lower? Yes. But for context, Milam also has what just happened there? Sorry. There we go. Milam also has 7 strikeouts in 3 fewer at-bats than Travinski. So, and by the way, Travinski's walked 11 times and Milam's walked 7. So Travinski's got 36 at-bats, but he's also got 11 walks. His on-base percentage is .549, man. Kling's at .529. Those are the only 2 of your regulars that are over 500. So he's just taking such good at-bats. He's cut down the strikeouts. He's drawing walks. He's putting the ball in play to all fields. It's been a lot of fun to watch his development as a hitter, which is really cool. Okay. The LSU women won yesterday. They beat Kentucky. Cool senior day. Shaq walking out with Angel Reese, which was cool. Oh, I guess we could talk about the Caitlin Clark, Pete Maravich thing as well. I'll have some things to say about that on AFR today also. But okay, let's say some good mornings. You know the drill. Smash the like button if you're on YouTube. Subscribe up to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate you for being there with us. Tim Gotro, good morning. Giant Dubs, how about the LSU softball remains undefeated, only undefeated team in the country. Bubba Tatum, good morning. Brian Wynn, James McKinney, Trivia Carter, Trey Fisher. What up, Fish? Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Kelly Gross, what up? Brett Gibbs, good morning, Matt. Shout out to USL softball for beating Oklahoma. How about that, man? Team Bud Light woke moonshine. I'm not going down that rabbit hole to explain that again, but thank you, Brett. Yeah, man, the Cajuns beat Oklahoma, ended their 71 game win streak and did it in Norman. So congrats to the Cajun softball team for going over to Norman to get a huge win. How about that? State of Louisiana, rocking in softball right now. Bubba Smith, good morning. Leon Williams, good morning. LSU and TCU are the best two baseball teams in the country. Rankings should reflect. Hope they meet in the College World Series. Steve Menard, Tommy Primo, good morning. Gary Petrie, good morning, Uncle Scone. Great weekend for the Tigers. Have a doctor's appointment for a checkup. Sucks getting old. Yeah, Gary, I hope I never get old. Um, feel forever young. That's what it is. Bob Poole, what's good? Von Bluesman, good morning. Hey, Brant, let's see. I know the preseason predictions can be a joke, but none of the ones I've seen has LSU making the playoffs. Maybe they just need to see how the defense is. Winning will solve the issues, obviously. So I guess you're talking about LSU football in the college football playoff. So remember, it's a 12-team playoff, and the group of five gets an auto bid. So um, unless if you think LSU is going to win the SEC, which hard to predict that, they'd have to be an at large somewhere in there, and I can actually understand why teams like Georgia, Ole Miss, Missouri, who all had better seasons than LSU a year ago, would be favored to be in those spots ahead of LSU. So, um, yeah, Brand, I'm not sure I would predict LSU to be in the playoff. So I don't think it's. I mean, just consider this, Brant. You're losing your Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, two first round draft picks at receiver, and your defense was historically bad. The only reason you went 9-3 last year is because you had a transcendent quarterback and two first round picks at receiver who are both gone now. So, yeah, man, I don't know why anybody would give LSU the benefit of the doubt there. It's not to say they can't make the playoff or won't. But I always say when I'm making preseason predictions, who has the fewest questions against the most manageable schedule? Well, LSU's got a lot of questions, man. I mean, you replace your whole defensive staff, and you were awful on defense a year ago. You're so thin at defensive tackle, you're moving offensive linemen there just to be competitive in spring. I mean, we got a lot of questions, bro. I mean, if you're being very real about it. Bob Poole. Oh, sorry, I read that one. Rex, good morning. Um, biggest, I can't put you on screen, man. It's morning scone. I can't do it. Uh, because of the name you chose. And I'm not mad at you for the name you chose because I'm a Monty Python fan as well. So I'm with you there. But just I can't put it on screen on morning scone. My first pair of Air Force Ones recently on your recommendation, Year of the Dragon. Very comfy. Very, by the way. Got my G Nikes today. I love these. Erica bought me these. You can't. I think I wore these once before I showed y'all, but it's got the green uh, sole, green on the back, yellow. I don't know if you can tell, but this is actually brown. It's like a chocolate. It's hard to tell here, but it's like a chocolate brown, which matches the Nike on the tongue right there. I don't know if you can tell, but I love those. Not everybody loves Air Force Ones. They can be big and boxy and all, but I love them. I love their fit, feel. I love my G Nikes. All right, smash the like button if you would. Please, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. LinkedIn, shout out to our LinkedIn fam as well. Connect and, repost and all that stuff. David Tolson, I didn't get to watch any of the LSU baseball games this weekend other than winning all their games. What did we learn about the team? Biggest takeaway from the weekend, David, moving Luke Holman into the Friday night role, Engage jumped Saturday. Those two were awesome. And I thought Thatcher Hurd really reestablished himself yesterday. Three spot, as we mentioned, the three spot that he gave up. Hang on, Drew's backpack's beeping. Hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, David, started pitching was good. I think you established some roles in the back of your bullpen. Milam continues to be in the starting lineup every day. I think he's established himself as your everyday second baseman with Braswell at short, and what you'll do is platoon Pearson and Brown in right field. That's what it looks like. Although Bingham did get the day off on Saturday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, Bingham got the day off yesterday. Pearson played left and Brown played right, so getting some guys some opportunities as well. Let's see. Taylor Hudson, good morning. Charlie Cavell, good morning. You know the other thing about this weekend too, David? They never even felt threatened. I mean, they controlled Texas the entire way. Same with the ULL game, like literally until the final at bat with a run, with a runner on base and the go ahead run at the plate, like until the final batter of the game. That never felt in doubt, and yesterday certainly never felt in doubt. So, it was impressive the manner in which they won as well. Ryan Pike, curious, you think Cruz makes that off the wall catch Kling misses against UT? Yes. And by the way, I think Kling makes that catch 8 times out of 10. He just didn't make it in the game on Saturday. Brant, really enjoyed Musso at the box. Guy really loves LSU baseball. Musso's doing a great job, man, for sure. Wendell Norman, Trey Potan, Wacky Chris, good morning. How about the LSU pitching this weekend? You know, man, it's the thing that we talked about this team coming into the year, which was a contrast from a year ago. We knew the pitching would be great while they figured out, position players in the batting order, losing really 7 of your top hitters from a year ago. And the pitching has not disappointed at all. I mean, it's just a conveyor belt of elite arms all coming out, throwing, mid upper 90s and different arm slots and challenging hitters when they don't walk guys. It looks special. You know what? My dome is shining. I probably should have put on my ESPN net from the jump there so my dome doesn't shine. There we go. Cut down on the shiny dome. All right, y'all. Brett DeGrow, good morning. Ben Boudreaux, Joey Metke, Solar Flares. Hey, Dad, good morning. That's a joke name, like. No, I know, Bubba. I know the guy's joke name. Like, I get it. It's a reference from Monty Python. Biggest. It's a reference to Monty Python. I know what it is. I'm just not going to put it on the screen and say it because it's Morning Scone. Jim Arsenault, good morning. Cajun Country went and saw Mama Mulkey yesterday. Fun game, great atmosphere. Yeah, man, girls looked good yesterday. I think my biggest takeaway of the LSU women's team, certainly since they lost those back-to-back games, I would say is just the defensive effort. And I think that starts with Haley Van Lith, the point. You couldn't get the stops and make the plays you needed late against South Carolina, and then you gave up 77 to Mississippi State. But since then, 66 to Florida, 62 to Vandy, 66 to Bama, 58 to A&M, 66 to Auburn, 60 to Tennessee, 54 to Georgia, 56 to Kentucky. Nobody scored 70 against you. The most they've allowed is 66 since the back-to-back losses. I think that's the biggest difference for this team that I've seen in the month since those back-to-back losses. Let's see. UL Lafayette ended 70-game win streak for Oklahoma. Talked about it. Yeah, congrats to the Cajuns. Will LSU softball go to number 1? I don't know that. I can't tell you. I know enough about softball polling and voting and all that sort of stuff. But hat tip to Beth Torina's team for being undefeated, and hat tip to the Cajun softball team for ending. I thought it was a 71 game. Well, I'll check it. Sean, but I thought I thought it was 71 games. But went to Norman and beat Oklahoma. Um, Cajun softball team did. So congrats to them. Massive win. Let's see, about 5 more minutes here. Tiger Diver, good morning. Billy Freeman, good morning. Great weekend. Great weekend, man. Great weekend for the Tigers all around. Brant, I have my purple and gold glasses on for football and just expect them to make the playoffs. They'll get there eventually. And Brent, they may get there this year. Um, and I sincerely hope they do. But also consider, man, like the top 12 make the playoff. You have one spot for a G5 at large. You've got your power four that get the auto bids. So you'll have your 4 auto bids plus the G5 auto bid. So you'll have 7 at large spots behind that. Like, I mean, just go look at LSU's end of season rankings over the last decade. I mean, like they wouldn't have made it this year at 9-3. They would not have been in, you know, even with the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. So, you know, effectively, you got to get to 10-2. You get to 10-2 against the schedule LSU plays, you'll be in. But it's really hard to predict that, to say, yeah, I definitively think that's going to happen. Denny Landry, morning from Pierre Part on a much-needed vacation. Good for you, Denny. Enjoy your downtime, man. Cortland, LSU softball now has the longest active winning streak. Chico, looking forward to the new political debate show, Whiskey and Moonshine, sponsored by Bud Light. Taz, RIP to Chris Mortensen. Matt, did you know him? I did not. I don't know that I ever had Chris on the show. I never met him. I certainly never met him, and I don't know that I ever had him on the show. It's possible that somewhere along the way we had him on the show. We had Sal Powell for the draft last year. He was embedded with Carolina. They had the number 1 pick, so we had him on on draft day. But no, but everyone that's we spoke about Mort spoke highly. Yeah, it seemed like a great guy. You could just tell in recent years that the illness had taken its toll on him. He looked uh, he looked unhealthy and retired. And for those that didn't see, Chris Mortensen died. Died yesterday. So condolences to his family. Certainly, a lot of people who grew up watching Mort on TV. Your fun Sayad, good morning, American Patriot. UL game lasted till 1 a.m., 11 innings. Oh, wow. I don't know if it was that late. Taz, slim chance, but if the Saints draft Bo Nix, will we get a Matt rant? If the Saints draft Bo Nix, I might turn in my fan card. That would be inexcusable. Brandon Hoyt, good morning. Fred, what's going on? Do you think TMJ helped his draft stock with his combine performance? I'm going to feel stupid now. Who's TMJ? Why am I not? TMJ I would have thought was Terrace Marshall Jr., but he's in the NFL now. I don't know who are you talking about Brian Thomas? Did you mean BTJ? Brian Thomas Jr.? Fred, I think that might have been who you meant was Brian Thomas. And if you meant Brian Thomas, then yes, I do. Running a 4.34, I think he solidified himself as a first rounder. Absolutely. I think Brian Thomas solidified himself at his size to run that time with the productivity he had. I think he solidified himself as the number 4 receiver in this draft after Harrison, Neighbors, and Adunze. Gary, of all the power teams from baseball of old, LSU seems to have stayed on top while others have fallen off. Who would be the other teams that you're talking about? I mean, I guess I think back to like if I think about Skip's teams in the '90s. Obviously, they played Wichita State the first two times. They played Wichita State in '96 as well in the first game of the College World Series that year. Wichita State's obviously fallen off. Um, but they played Florida State and USC and Florida. I'm running through teams that I know that I remember they played in the College World Series in those years. Um, I don't know. I think a lot of teams have invested resources. I think some of the West Coast teams maybe Long Beach, Arizona State, some of those maybe have struggled. Um, yeah, I don't know, I'd have to give that some thought. Rick Kelly noticed that both Haley and Angel are left-handed. The population is only about 12% left-handed. Crazy, we have them both on the same team. Okay. My wife's left-handed. Erica's left-handed. Patrick Berglas, good morning, Matt. Setting up for another great week for our Tigers. Let's go to the SC tournament strong for men and women. RIP Mort. Chris Anthony, morning, Matt. Will it be irrelevant to even make the SC championship game if they go to 14 or 16 team playoffs? 12 teams still counts for something. Yeah, yes. I mean, Chris, I would put it to you this way. What that could do, I wouldn't say irrelevant for this reason. Um, and this is, I think, the thing people lose sight of when we have that conversation. Everybody's playing for something. If you go to the SEC championship game and win it, in theory, you're playing for a bye in the college football playoff, or you get an off week that matters. Um, um, if you are in that next year, you're playing for a home game, which matters, or are you playing to get in? So will it matter in terms of getting in? No, no, it won't. But could it matter in terms of getting a bye or a home game? Yes. So it's really what are you playing for? All right, I got to get going. Pat Houston, the Falcons will be good for Knicks. Cortland, Miami, Texas, Cal State, Fullerton, Florida State. I mean, but a lot of those programs have still been really good. Um, CMAC, Miami, Long Beach, Fullerton. I mean, Long Beach is the one that comes to mind. Fullerton, I need to go check. I feel like Fullerton had been to the College World Series. Fullerton's, who's the coach who went to Tennessee? Oh, I'm picturing the guy. I can't remember his name. The Fullerton baseball coach, short, kind of fat guy. He was awful at Tennessee. Serrano, Dave Serrano. So he left Fullerton in 2011. But let's see, he had Fullerton. Um, he had Fullerton in the College World Series in '09. So I mean, I know '09 feels like forever ago, but I guess I'm just talking about like how long ago are we talking? Anyway, Leon Williams, how do you think Mason Smith did at the combine? Definitely looks the part. We knew that. We knew he would go, wow, uh, physically. So Pepperdine didn't have really a great run. Pepperdine just won the national championship with was it Andy Lopez in '92? Do I have the year right? Pepperdine just wasn't. They weren't like a historically great program. They messed up and won a national championship. Even Rice was really good. I mean, Rice has been still a regional and super regional team of late. Um, all right, I got to go. It's 8 o'clock. Casey Mayo, like Guidry talking at Texas after the win. Team has swagger. I mean, so I don't know if you mean Texas or yesterday with Texas State, but yes, he was Texas State. He like when Guidry got the strikeout to end the game. Um, he was looking at the Texas State dugout saying, like, all effing day. All effing day. Like, it's so funny. Anyway, um, yeah, no, Pepperdine Lopez got Pepperdine, Billy, and won the national championship, but then Lopez also took Florida and Arizona to the College World Series as well. If I'm not mistaken, he's the only coach to take 3 different teams, 3 different programs to the College World Series. Okay, it's 8:01. I gotta go. Thanks so much for watching. As always, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, YouTube, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post, LinkedIn, connect, repost, all that good stuff. As always, we appreciate our friends at Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. They're just the best. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. And if you need a roof, give us a call, 364-1007, 364-1007. Y'all have an awesome day.